Hey guys, Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who Classic. Last time around we had The King's Demons. What was that one about?
Well, a semi-historical. They land in England in 1415, yeah. And it turns out that King John has been replaced by some kind of mechanical chameleon robot android thing. And it's the Master's plan to somehow prevent John from signing Magna Carta so that essentially democratic order will not be imposed upon England and as a consequence probably the rest of the world. Anyway, it was only a two-parter. The Doctor finds out about it. It introduces Chameleon, who I don't know if he continues to be a companion or not. But we also had assumed that it would be the end of Turlough, but apparently he's somewhat still around.
Yeah. So, yeah, from what I heard, the King's Demons was also subject to a strike, like with Shada, but where Shada had a complete thing, I guess nobody cared to finish the King's Demons. So yeah, I guess it was supposed to go on another 2 episodes, and they would see what the next part of the Master's plan was. Because that was part of it, that like it just sort of petered out at the end, yeah. And it was sort of left open. Well, what's going to happen with Chameleon? Like, I guess he's going to stay on the TARDIS, and then nothing came of that, and now it's 6 months later. It's November of 1983, and we have the 5 Doctors instead. So they just gave up on whatever they were going to set up in the last one. So, but yeah, we are back around to the 5 Doctors. We have previously seen this, if you are not aware, though I imagine you are aware if you've been going through the playlist and everything. But yeah, we watched this beginning of 2020, I want to say. So it has certainly been a while, and for the most part I remember this one being good.
Yes. Now they've got their replacement actor for Hartnell, who had passed away by this time, if I recall correctly.
Yes. So so yeah, it's a new actor for the first Doctor, which I think back when we watched this the first time, someone said like it wasn't too long after this that this actor died as well. So, but we will have 2 actual returning Doctors for this one, being the 2nd and 3rd Doctor, and the 4th Doctor. I do kind of understand Tom's thinking of like, well, it just left, even though this is at the end of Peter Davison's 2nd season, I do kind of understand it might be a little too early to come back, but, and sort of on that, just because Tom lasted so long too, yeah. Because he was there for 7 years, like, I can kind of understand that, but yeah, I think people have said like he did later regret not being in that one. So, and considering the fact there wasn't another one after this, because they didn't make it to their 30th anniversary. So, but yeah, I vaguely remember the plot of this. The weird thing is, like, I remember stuff with this, and I vaguely remember Tegan doing stuff in this. I cannot remember Turlough doing a thing in this episode.
No, but there's a cameo appearance of many of the previous companions.
Yeah.
Which apparently are apparitions or holograms or something like that. But it was nice to see some of them again.
Yeah.
And we ultimately found out that the bit that Tom Baker is in was footage left over from Shada.
Yes.
Where he and Romana too are captured by some kind of Phantom Zone thing.
Well, it was when they were just like on the boat, and they were just like going down the river in the boat. And I think I'm curious which version of this we have in terms of special effects, because I do remember just like some triangle just sort of vaguely floats in front of Tom Baker, and then he's gone, and then that was sort of what they went with. So I know there's there's two versions. There's one where it's just a flat triangle that sort of absorbs all the doctors, and there was an updated one where it was like this swirly triangle that came and got them. I don't know if there's literally any other difference between, except maybe like the voice of Rassilon at the end, but we'll see.
Now, I'm noticing the date November of 1983. Historical note in my own life and your life. Although your mother and I had worked together in three shows at the Oklahoma Theater Center by this point. About this time of 1983, we were doing our first show in Jewel Box, which we are now the managing directors of, 40 years later.
Yeah, so, and it is interesting how close we are kind of getting this to the anniversary itself of Doctor Who.
Yes.
So what date specifically? So if that goes out here, then it will be... So this should be going out on November the 13th. So 10 days off. So that's pretty close. And the... actually, is the... I guess that makes the 23rd. I guess that's Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess not in the UK, but... they don't have that in the UK, but it's okay. Slowly but surely, the US doesn't have it either. It's just extra Christmas. So, anywho, but yeah, so we're pretty close. And ironically, now that I look at it here on Amazon, if you count every individual episode of this season, this is also the 23rd episode of season 20, which lines up with the 23rd of 1983. And when I'm pulling out references like that, I'm running out of things to say. So
let's move on.
Yeah. You got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right, then we are going to jump right into the 5 Doctors. This is a straight shot, 1 hour, 30 minutes. I heard there is a 4-part cut, but it was just some like strange version of it that has like kind of weird cliffhanger. So this is the original version, the hour 30 cut, and we're just going to go straight through it, and then we'll have a discussion afterwards. So with that said, let's get going.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
Ooh, the music sounds a little different.
Yeah, the bass is different.
Well, that was nice. Especially, too, because now we've seen the episode where he gives that speech.
New console.
Oh, yeah.
This actor's hair is a bit too long.
Nope, we got the old effects. It begs the question, when was the first Doctor ever alone?
I'm not too late, am I?
What for?
For your speech, as guest of honor.
How did you know?
I saw it in the Times.
That's impossible. The reporter's still here.
Tomorrow's Times. And who is this?
That's Colonel Crichton, my replacement.
Yes, mine was pretty unpromising, too.
Come
He
on,
still
Doctor,
remembers.
we'll take a stroll.
You've had this place redecorated, haven't you? Don't like it.
Come on, Doctor. After you. What?
Bessie.
Yay!
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
That's right.
So Newton invented punting.
Oh, yes. There's no limit to Isaac's genius.
Isn't it wonderful how something so primitive can be so...
Question?
No, simple. You just push in one direction, the boat goes in the other.
I was just thinking about it. It's got to seem weird. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking about the physics of that boat. Like, it has to push against your legs, essentially.
Yeah.
You are one of the most evil and corrupt beings this Time Lord race has ever produced. Your crimes are without number, and your villainy without end.
Thank you.
Now, when I say now, help me to push the Dalek down that alley. And when I say drop, drop. Understood?
Yes, the lack of peripheral vision.
Oh. Ugh. Oh. Well, you got him.
One less squid.
The Dark Tower,
We're on Gallifrey.
the death zone.
Why were we brought here?
Why did they make this?
Tells me that the answer to
What? Like, why did they make the death zone on Gallifrey? What was the point of that?
Charming.
It's you.
Of course it's me. Hello, Sarah Jane.
No, it's you.
That's right.
No, you changed. Remember? You became all,
Teeth and curls? Yes, maybe I did. But I hadn't yet.
Oh, I see. No, I don't. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you very much for rescuing me, Doctor.
Oh, it's no good. I shall have to rest.
Oh, yes, of course, Grandfather.
Eh,
I'll just go and
He hasn't
take
changed.
another look.
Yes.
So she's like 17 years older, so it must be in her
The TARDIS.
mid-30s to early 40s.
I
Eh.
suggest we go and find out.
Who are you?
More to the point, what are you young people doing inside my TARDIS?
His TARDIS.
And who might he be? The Doctor. Good grief.
You look like an idiot.
Is he really?
Me? Yes. Yes, I'm afraid so. Regeneration. Fourth. Goodness me, so there are 5 of me now. This is Susan.
Yes, I know.
As it happens, I am the Doctor. The original, you might say.
You shouldn't be here at the same time with him, should you?
Certainly not.
It only happens in the gravest emergencies.
Like now.
Yes, unfortunately.
Now look. young
Once
lady.
every 10 years.
This young fellow looks as though he needs some refreshment, and I know that Susan and I do too.
Hang on a minute.
Tegan,
Meh.
Tegan, I'll humour him. You know, I sometimes used to get a little tetchy. Fortunately, one mellows with age. Cholo will help.
That's embarrassing, bringing up his old sexist past.
Terracidon, the greatest single figure in Time Lord history.
Is that where he lives?
Not exactly, Brigadier. It's his tomb.
And just give another slap to Omega. He's always forgotten. Ugh.
One of my predecessors?
What you missed?
Uh-huh, there it is.
What?
The Tomb of Rassilon. That's where we're going.
Why'd they put his tomb in the Hunger Games?
I guess because he ended it.
I guess.
He's only 9 years older, but he doesn't look like he's changed at all.
Yeah.
Cotton looks older.
Well, yeah.
No. No, it couldn't be.
Well, I mean, look at the way he's dressed. He's either the Master or he's Dracula.
I'll return it at the first opportunity.
If you will only listen.
I knew it. A trap.
These thunderbolts are everywhere.
No, we can't leave him.
You just watch me.
Ah, I miss Pertwee. He was the ruthless one.
Well, so 2 of them made it. I wonder what happened to the other.
I'd like to know why we can't have Tom Baker in this, too.
Contract dispute.
They didn't have enough money. Although, honestly, it is sort of in character for the Fourth Doctor to just not feel like coming to a crossover.
Choose above, between, below.
You in pain, Doctor? Age has not mellowed you, has it, Brigadier?
I was recording in...
I know this is going to be hard to believe, Doctor, but for once I mean you no harm. Like Alice, I try to believe 3 impossible things before breakfast. Go on. I've been sent here by the High Council to help you.
Guys.
Sorry, mustache.
Oh.
Susan, come on!
Well, with our young friend gone, I shall have to go to the Dark Tower.
I'll come with you.
Oh. Oh, well, if you must.
It seems
She is just too 80s for him.
Okay, well, let's go then. If I don't fall off that path, I'll probably die of fright.
Wait.
What is it?
The Rastal Warrior robot.
Wrestling warrior robot. That's why we've never seen them before.
The
It
perfect.
isn't armed.
Whoop!
Quick, over there.
Anything else I shouldn't know?
Yes, they move like lightning.
What's it doing?
It's a simple effect, but it's hilarious. It could just disappear.
Yeah.
It has to jump with its hands out. I mean, it's better than the Pizza the Hut guys, but still.
Come on, Doc. You can make it.
Well, of course I can, young woman. And kindly refrain from addressing me as Doc.
In the Castellan's room.
What? Oh, Colin Baker?
Nah, he regenerated already.
I don't like this at all. Someone or something wants us to go inside.
Yes.
After you, Brigadier. Hello, after you, Doctor.
One of the entrances to the Tomb of Rassilon is just a wooden door. Ooh. Took his head off. Oh. Oh. Oh no, the wind instruments are dying.
Well, we're here. How do you reckon we get in?
Why aren't these doors locked?
Because no one is expected to be there.
Yeah.
Nothing happens until you reach the 5th row, halfway, and then the entire board becomes a death trap.
Our ancestors had such a wonderful sense of humor.
Why don't you just go
I
around?
know you, young man.
Believe it or not, we were at the academy together.
What do you want?
I want to believe the last time that this doctor saw the master, he wasn't in his edgelord phase.
Take the patrol across.
They don't realize he was the hopscotch champion at the academy.
Try it, Doctor. It's as easy as pie.
What an extraordinary fellow. Easy as pie. 3.14159 265. Yes, that's it. You stay there, child. Now.
Hope you've got your sums right.
I would just, just kill me. I can't do math.
Inform Chancellor Flavia that the Lord President has disappeared, would you?
Smartly done. Much less the 5 doctors and more like the 4 doctors working independently.
I do remember someone saying that if they had the 4th Doctor, he would have been the one to go deal with the traitor. So the 5th Doctor would have still been in the death zone.
Sit down again. Sit down. Rest for a moment, right?
Where are you going?
It won't be a second.
It's taking too long.
Doctor! Doctor, this way.
Mike?
Oh, Mike.
How did you get here?
Same way as you. Liz Shaw is here, too.
Good heavens. Hello, Liz.
But she should be at
Any more?
Cambridge.
Someone you should know very well.
No, I think I'll go, thanks.
Through, Doctor!
Good joke.
Now! Your phantoms! Illusions of the mind!
Stop! Doctor?
Well, it was good to see them again.
I feel weird, Doctor.
Full of strange fears and mysterious forebodings?
That's it.
No, as a matter of fact, I don't. It's all illusion, child. Just ignore it as I do.
How?
Fear itself is largely an illusion. And at my age, there's little left to fear. No, there's nothing here to harm us.
I've never thought about it that he is probably the most confident of all the doctors.
When you were returned to your own people, the Time Lords erased your memory of the period you spent with me. So how do you know who we are? Answer!
Why does she have a bubble wrap dress?
Gone.
I guess we'll never know.
Have I ever led you astray?
On many occasions. This will be the exception. Come along.
That was a loaded question. Mysterious harp.
The harp of Rassilon. I never knew he was musical.
Is everything he owned called of Rassilon?
Hell of a set.
Well,
Lethbridge Stewart? Oh, my dear fella. How very nice to see you again.
Great heavens, you as well. Well, I can't exactly say it's nice to be here. Do you know, I was enjoying...
Excuse me, old chap. We have a very important inscription to translate, and I think we'll get it all wrong without me.
they all think they're the most important.
Absolutely typical. Live forever, never die.
That is what the word means, young man.
But that's impossible.
Apparently not.
It seems Rassilon possesses it now, and is willing to share it with whoever takes the ring.
Thank you, gentlemen. That is exactly what
It can't really be eternal life if he's in his own tomb.
Killing you once was never enough for me, Doctor. How gratifying to do it 3 times over.
Nice to see you again.
Oh! Good job.
Excellent. It is a tune. What could it be? A tune like...
Have you tried 88 Fingers Edward? Yeah, his figure forgot the celery on his lapel.
The little charade fooled me for a while.
Yes, it was rather leaked, wasn't it? Such a pity about the cast. Then I needed someone to use for a diversion.
Oh, Bruce. What's happened to you?
He used to be a good character.
Immortality? Well, that's impossible, even for a Time Lord.
Rassilon achieved it. Timeless, perpetual, bodily regeneration.
It's true immortality.
I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flows.
Oh no, he reversed the polarity.
Doctor, we need you. Join us. You can't. Some kind of mind lock. Fight it, my boy, fight it! Concentrate. We must be one.
Oh, didn't we do this before?
Yeah.
I am Barusa, Lord President of Gallifrey.
Why have you come here?
I come to claim that...
That
which is
mustache,
promised.
though.
You seek immortality?
Genghis Rassilon.
I do.
Is sure.
These are my servants.
Is it so?
It most certainly is not. Don't believe him. It's nonsense. Don't listen to them, Lord Rassilon. President Barusa speaks the truth.
You believe that Barusa deserves the immortality he seeks.
Indeed I do.
Others have come to claim immortality through the ages. It was given to them, as it shall be given to you.
It's genuinely terrifying.
And what of you, doctors? Do you claim immortality too?
No. All we ask
No.
will be returned to our proper place in time and space.
so shall the one who is bound. His sins will find their punishment in due time.
I'm sure they will.
You have chosen wisely, Doctor. Farewell.
What a crusade that was.
It's reassuring to know that my future is in safe hands. Come along, Susan.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Time to go, Brigadier.
Well, goodbye. 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 Fancy pants.
Splendid fellows, all of you.
Oh, goodbye, my dear chap. I must say, I've had the time of my lives. Haven't you, Sarah Jane?
Have we? Well, I only have one life, and I think I've had too much already. Goodbye. Yes, it was really nice meeting you.
Thank you, Sarah Jane. It was nice meeting you, too. I'll explain later.
I'm definitely not the man I was. Thank goodness.
Now, is Councillor Flavia the new president?
Time Lords are as useless as ever.
Doctor. I feared President Barusa had... Where is President Barusa?
Unavailable. It seems a legend about Rassilon is true.
He's a table now.
Full Doctor, you have evaded your responsibilities for far too long. The disqualification of President Barusa leaves a gap at the very summit of the Time Lord hierarchy. There is only one who can take this place.
You?
Yet again,
You have full deputy powers until I return. I shall travel in my TARDIS.
Oh, but Doctor...
You will address me by my proper title. I am President, am I not? You will obey my commands. Into the TARDIS. You will escort Chancellor Flavia back to her duties.
Doctor, wait!
Hold tight.
Let's get out of here.
You told Chancellor Flavia. I told her she had full powers until I return.
You're not going back?
You know, sometimes, Tegan, you take my breath away.
Won't the Time Lords be very angry?
Furious.
You mean you're deliberately choosing to go on the run from your own people in a rackety old TARDIS?
Why not? After all, that's how it all started.
Alrighty. How it all began. Alrighty. The 5 Doctors.
Well, now, oddly enough, it seems slower than the first time, but then again, now we know so much more, it gets us kind of bogged down. But enjoyable.
Yeah.
Almost as much as the 3 Doctors. It is nice that, what was his name, Richard Herndl?
Yeah. As
the first Doctor, was able to take part more than poor Hartnell did, of course.
Yeah.
An interesting story. I remembered about halfway through it what the ultimate solution to the problem was, but I didn't remember that it was Barusa who had done it.
Yeah. I mean, I remembered a while ago that it was Barusa, and the more he kept showing up in these episodes, the more I was like, man, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember. I guess his first appearance was in The Deadly Assassin, but I don't fully remember him there. What I do remember is, what was it? I guess The Invasion of Time, that one, where that one, as mixed of an episode as that was, I really enjoyed his character in that, and it was a good dynamic between him and the 4th Doctor.
Yeah.
And ever since then, they just haven't been able to recapture that. And now, it's like, oh, well, he wanted immortality, and now he's a table. And it's like, well, that sucks.
Well, he's more of a tomb, but... Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think the Invasion of Time version of him was the best of the 3 or 4 that we've now seen.
Yeah, so...
and again, because of his particular relationship with the Doctor, which he did not seem to have in his later regenerations.
Yeah, because he was also... And again, because that episode is all over the place in terms of quality. But he definitely seemed like, no, this is the guy who, taught the Doctor at the Academy. He he has that sort of cleverness. He's smarter than most Time Lords we see. So it makes sense, honestly, when he was, I think at the time he was Chancellor of Gallifrey, and the Doctor came in to assert his leadership as Lord President. But it honestly just made sense. Like, this would be the person who sort of shaped the Doctor into who he was, and probably, by that extension, probably has a very similar history with the Master, and could have had a very interesting dynamic there as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, pretty much since then, because I guess the last time we saw him before this was Arc of Infinity at the top of Season 20, and there... he was there. I don't remember him doing anything in that story. So I guess it's a thing of just, nobody on the writing staff or anyone, really cared about Barusa, but it is just kind of a shame. And here, it's like, okay, well, yes, Barusa would be smart enough to pull this off. I just think it's odd that he would have attempted this at all.
Yeah. It seems to me that, again, and I realize nobody believed in continuity back then, but I think having the villain of the piece ultimately be Barusa takes away a really interesting kind of grounding of the Doctor, so that if the bad guy had been the Castellan or Flavia even, that, him ultimately helping the Doctor out, saying, I know who you are, I know who you were, all of these other incarnations, might have made a slightly more interesting overall script. But, again, all they remember is the last particular iteration of him and just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
Which is sad, because, again, he had such an interesting start, and then to lead him off to this, they didn't set that up.
Yeah.
If they had set it up where in the last two iterations before this one, that he was saying, the Time Lords are getting out of hand. I've got to figure out some way to try to get them to understand we cannot interfere, go back to our roots or whatever. But again, it's just like they handed somebody this story, and Terrence Dicks said, "Okay, I got it." And I mean, it's a good episode, but does not fit the arc of the character.
It's definitely something of, because I mean, when we say it's like, oh well, they didn't believe in continuity, it's like there is still a lot of continuity with the Doctors and the other companions and stuff. It's just really clear. It's like, okay, Barusa was not a, I guess, sacred character. Like, everyone else, like, is pretty consistent with who they've been over the past 20 years. And even some continuity of, like Sarah Jane has K9, which only is the case because of the, failed pilot that they did for K9 and Company, where it was K9 and Sarah Jane. That continuity is still there, even though they never met in Doctor Who. But yeah, it's just very clear. It's like nobody really cared about Barusa, even though he was a character that they kept bringing back every time they went to Gallifrey. So I don't know. Yeah, that's sort of like the one unfortunate thing. Well, I mean, I guess the other unfortunate thing about this episode is just not having Tom Baker, which I would have been curious, because again, I'm pretty sure someone said that the fourth Doctor would have been the one on Gallifrey, and I guess the one who would have figured out Barusa. But that does lead me to wonder, what was the fifth Doctor's role then? I assume it's just whatever the first Doctor was going to be doing as well. Maybe it would have just been that the fifth Doctor and the first Doctor would have stayed together longer. So, because it is sort of another thing too of like, they only really meet up at the end, you know? So, which is fine. It's nice to see them all again, but at the same time, it's like, well, I kind of want more interaction. And the three Doctors definitely had more of that. So,
and I seem to remember more of the villains coming through, but instead we got Daleks, we got Cybermen, and we got a Yeti.
Yeah, we got a Yeti, a Dalek, and some Cybermen, and the ultimate killing machines that were Rassilon's goofy robots. But yeah, other than that, and I guess the big one being the Master, which is fine. He was also just in the last story as well, so and it's also so I guess Barusa's plan, I guess the problem with his plan is that the High Council brought in the Master, although the Master didn't really do much, you know? Like, the Master was just kind of there. He met up with a couple versions of the Doctor, but none of them really trusted him. They even took the seal of the High Council from him, which, that was actually something interesting. They do bring back the fact that the Third Doctor just swiped the seal off of him. They bring that back in, like, the 11th Doctor's final episode. He just, like, pulls it out of his pocket, like, oh, I took this off the Master a long time ago. And it's like, okay, that was a long time ago.
So it makes me wonder, at what point did somebody finally say, we need to do what these two knuckleheads are doing and go back and look at everything so that we can now have some form of continuity in the new series when it restarted?
Yeah, I think just from 2005, just Russell T Davies was the first one to start that, and then after that, it just became such a big, important thing that it was continued on with Moffat, with Chibnall, and, well, now back again with RTD. Now, and again, because we talk about not having much continuity, I guess it's just there's continuity when it serves the plot, you know? because sometimes they'll remember some of it. And, you know, sometimes, like when we did Remembrance of the Daleks, which is at the top of season 25, and that is just sort of an anniversary special, even though they don't bring back former Doctors. They do go back to Cole Hill and that sort of thing, and so there is a bit of continuity there, but it really just is, it's when it needs to be. And for here, it did not serve the plot for Barusa to stay, and the last 3 appearances he's had did not work with the plot for him to be as good as he was in The Invasion of Time. So okay, now here's an interesting thing that I notice it here, and I notice it on a future episode that also contains the First Doctor. Now we've both watched the First Doctor, and there is a part of me that sometimes when he acts a certain way, I'm like, was he actually like that back in his episodes? Specifically, when as soon as he gets in that TARDIS, he pretty much orders Tegan to go get them all drinks and everything, and only Tegan, no one else, and you know, the Fifth Doctor's like, please bear with him, bear with me. I was going through a phase, you know, I was sort of a curmudgeon old man 500 years ago or whatever. And there is a part of me that's like, was he really that bad back in the day?
Oddly enough, I thought he was more so with Ian. You know, he was much more dismissive of Ian than he ever was of Barbara.
Yeah, so because there's a future episode that also brings back the First Doctor, and they do kind of have a couple jokes of that, like he goes into the TARDIS and he's like, oh, you know, this place is a mess, you haven't dusted. And it's like, oh, well, clearly Polly hasn't been here in a while. And it's like, well, I don't know if he would have said it. Like, I get, like, okay, we're making a comment on the fact that this show's really old and this started in 1963, but I don't know, you kind of look back and it's like, I don't remember the First Doctor being like that, though. And there was a part of me, like, in that particular instance where it's like, oh, you don't have Polly anymore to dust the TARDIS for you. I do kind of sit there and think, I think he would have made Ben do that, too.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think he would be specifically sexist about it. I think he would have any companion dust his TARDIS for him, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And it's kind of shame, and again, love seeing Susan, nothing wrong with that, but you know it would have been so much better with Ian and Barbara.
Yeah.
All right? And bringing back Jamie. Jamie was there
Yeah.
in the one little bit. But let's face it, Jamie is one of the all-times.
Yeah.
Ian and Barbara, much more so than Susan, were all-time companions.
Yeah.
Sarah Jane was good.
There is a part of me that's like, oh yeah, it's so great to see Susan back. It's like, well, Susan didn't really do much in this episode. It's like, well, that's not very different from the episodes we had with Susan.
Yeah.
So, she wasn't so screamy. So I guess that's an improvement. But otherwise, she didn't do much.
And again, other than she just comes and said, it's so good to see you again, grandfather. There was nothing about, hey, how was life in
2156 or something.
Yeah. Now that the Daleks are gone and you and your husband, have you had a baby? How's your family? It's nothing. It's
because it's clearly been 20 years since she was left there. It would be crazy if she was like a war veteran or something and she was like brilliant.
Yeah.
That would be great. But again, I mean, I guess this isn't really a thing of like, well, continuity is only there if the plot demands it. It's like, well, that is very much in continuity with Susan's character. But to her credit, back then she was a teenage girl. Now it's like, well, you're still not doing much, So
again, everybody who's watching and listening to us babble on like this, we liked it. We're not tearing it down. We're not saying it's awful. We liked it. It's good. We're just saying we wish that we could, work on Doctor Who because we have so many great ideas that they should be doing.
Yeah. So many ideas they should be doing 40 years ago.
Yes.
So
take us back in time and we'll fix all this.
The other another thing is rewatching this. I was like, I'm remembering a bunch of these scenes. But it's weird. I still don't remember Turlough being in these scenes.
I don't either. Yeah.
And like we're gonna like rewatch the original video that we did and just like see that he's there and be like, that's weird. I just don't remember him.
Yeah.
But he was there the whole time with Susan. Granted, the two of them didn't do anything, but that was like the least amount of use that Turlough has had all season.
Yeah.
So, and I guess another thing about Ian and Barbara is earlier in this season, the episode that brought back the Brigadier, that was supposed to be Ian. And it's just that William Russell had scheduling conflicts, so they couldn't do it. So that's why they brought back the Brigadier. Honestly, for me, that's a tough choice because those are both really good characters. So I don't know which one I would want to bring back.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Of course, of all the companions to bring back, the most important was Bessie. I'm amazed because that wasn't the one that Pertwee kept, right? Because he had, remember the really weird futuristic car? That was his specifically. Yeah. So when he left, he took that. Because I think there were a couple episodes with Tom Baker where he was driving Bessie. So I'm glad they still had that car after all that time. They couldn't just like pawn it off. Nobody wanted it. So they just kept it around. Let's see. What else did we have? The rest of it, we had other companions showing up. We had Mike Yates and Liz Shaw. That was an interesting pair. It's interesting now, knowing the last time we saw Mike Yates when he was honorably discharged for being a traitor and trying to commit genocide across the earth with that whole invasion of the dinosaurs. That was a dumb episode. It's again, that is one of my favorite discussions we've ever had, just picking apart the plan in that one. But it was one of the dumbest episodes, but a lot of fun. So and that was also one of my favorite thumbnails that I ever did, where I just kept putting in different things. I put 4 different images behind us. It was hilarious. So and then Jamie and Zoe in whatever outfits they were wearing.
Jamie looked to have been, like the doctor said, after he was left back because he was dressed up in full regalia. We never saw him in anything that looked that good.
Yeah.
In that first 4 episodes, the Highlanders. So, and that's how the doctor says, "Hey, wait a minute, you never look like this, and your memory was supposed to have been wiped, so that can't be you." And then Zoe, in her bubble wrap dress.
Yeah, that was odd. Which I mean, Zoe never really wore dresses. I don't think she always wore like just sort of suits because she was more from the future.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how you would have brought back more companions, because I mean, the best thing to do would be bringing back all of them in some capacity.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do that unless they just keep going through hallways and keep finding different phantom companions. But let's see. So we could have had Ian and Barbara. Let's see. There was Vicky, Steven. I'm going to try to remember them all.
Ben and Polly.
Dodo. That would have been just hilarious.
Victoria.
Was there anyone else from the first Doctor? No.
Joe Grant.
Joe. Was there anyone else from the second Doctor? No. Joe. Benton. I'm counting Benton. Benton. After that, we had Yates. We had the Brigadier. I guess that would be next. Would be Leela. Yeah. You know, the Death Zone is on Gallifrey. It would have been hilarious if nobody pulled her in. She just broke into the Death Zone to kill people. That would have been the funniest thing.
Yeah. Leading a charge of all of the other companions to knock out all of the bad guys so that the doctors could get into the castle.
Oh, that would be so fun. I if anyone could defeat Rassilon's goofy robots, I would believe it would be Leela. Yeah. So, and then I guess after that would be
Romana 1 and 2. Although we did see Romana 2.
Yeah.
Because she was trapped with the 4th Doctor.
Adric, if you wanted to bring back Adric. I don't think anyone did. And then I guess Nissa would have been the last one. But yeah, so the fact is we can only think of one legitimate way of bringing back a companion. That's having Leela just completely dominating. Like, I want her to have, like, somehow she found, like, war horses or elephants or something, and she's just leading her tribe of savage Gallifreyans into the Death Zone.
Leela crosses the Alps.
Yeah, Barusa would probably have been killed before he ever put that ring on, so... Actually, if this was a 4th Doctor specific episode, and not just with all of them, I could see something of, you know, like he has the thing in order to impose his will over people. It'd be hilarious if that just doesn't affect Leela, because A, her will is too strong, and B, she's not that bright anyway. So, and I guess everything else, yeah, I guess the last thing is just Barusa and the Ring of Immortality. And I know that in the second version of this episode with the updated special effects, I think Rassilon, like, they sort of alter his voice to be a bit more deeper. You know, you take the game of Rassilon and stuff, which is interesting. His look is something else. It's just an interesting, you know, like you said, the sort of Genghis Khan, you know, you get the hat and the stash that curls into your hair. It's hilarious too that, so I guess the Time Lords never realized when those other 3 Time Lords disappeared, maybe we shouldn't go to the Death Zone. 'Tis a silly place, you know?
It's only a model.
So yeah, it is kind of hilarious that, and it's also funny that only the first Doctor figured out, no, let him put on the ring. That'll totally work out for him. Which, I guess, if anything, he was kind of ruthless now that we think about it, you know? Like, he completely, I mean, I guess, you know, not that there would be any mercy for a Dalek, but him coming up with that plan just to completely destroy it was good. I want to think there was another moment, but I can't think of it. I don't know. But just letting Barusa put on the ring, it was a little hardcore for the first Doctor. But again, like, as he was walking through, it's like none of the phantoms appeared to him because he's just that confident. And I've never thought of it like that, but he really is. We always talk about the fourth Doctor being, the model of confidence and everything. But honestly, the first Doctor, he gives no craps about anything. He will just go through, and he just will not be bothered. So that's pretty much that. You got anything else?
Nope, it's time for lunch.
It is time for lunch. We're both hungry. And next time, we start Season 21. And we'll go see what is the next one. Let me just do this. Scroll down. Season 21 starts with Warriors of the Deep.
Oh no, please say this isn't sentient seaweed again.
I certainly hope not. That would have been a callback if they brought back the seaweed or the werewolf goo, or that sounds terrible. Anyway, I guess that's pretty much it.
I got nothing.
With all that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of our Doctor Who classic reactions, as well as maybe the original version of the 5 Doctors we did 80,000 years ago. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.